Hi, welcome. In this video, we'll begin implementing the file system. So currently we've implemented the storage device, the block, and the metadata and the files itself. So files have metadata. So right now, let's go and implement the file system, which is sort of like bring everything together. So the very first thing we need to do is obviously create what properties would be in the file system class. So as usual, I'm using a data class I'm using a data class. So first things first, our file system will need a storage. So basically it's making reference to this storage here. So whenever we're creating our file system, there'll be an instance of the storage, right? So of instance of any storage, the same way that your file system has a hard disk and maybe a flash drive or a CD-ROM or something. So this is our storage device. Then each file system will have a predefined block size, how it will set the blocks in the file system in the storage device. Then this is sort of like the list of blocks, right? So if it has these are basically all the blocks that are contained within the file system itself. So I'm using typings. Let me import this. First of all, field, then list, so we can get rid of all of these errors. Okay, so this is our properties of our file system. So the next thing we need to do is actually create our methods. So the very first method we'll create is the create method. So this method is basically saying, hey, whenever you want to create a new file, what happens, right? So if you're creating a file for the very first time, we're going to just sort of like gets the contents, then creates the file. So this is what creates a new file, right? So for now, we're not going to implement it. We'll probably implement it in a different video, but let's just get all of the methods that will be in our file system. After the create, once you've created the file, you want to get access to the files, right? So we need to have a open method. So this open method takes in the file name and returns an instance of the file. Why this creates a file, this returns an instance of the file that has already been created. So we get access to an existing file, and again, we're not implementing it. So the next thing we need to do is read from a file, and this is a current existing file. So once we've opened the file, we've gotten access to the file, we come over here, we provide our file to the file system, and the file system will sort of like give us the content of the file. So what this method returns is the content of the file. So if the file has hello world in it, that's what we get. So the next method we're going to implement is the write method. So this is sort of like the opposite of the read method. It basically just writes to a file, to an existing file there, and it writes contents to the file. So you provide your contents and you provide a file you want to write to. So the next is the append. So I think it's really smart for us to make a difference between writing and appending. So if you're writing to an existing file, you're basically overriding all of the contents in the file. I think that's actually how Python works with the write option. If you write, you're kind of like, you can set it, so if you're writing, you can just overwrite the entire file. Then if you're appending, you're just adding additional files to it. So we also have an append method that will add contents to a file. Then the next method we're going to implement is, I guess this is mostly just for stylists, it's not really that important, but kind of like implementing the version of ls where we can list the files in the file system, which is kind of like important. So you know, okay, what files are currently in my file system. Then the next method will be the delete method, which basically will just delete the content, delete a particular file. And yeah, so this is it. These are all the methods that we are going to implement in the file system: the write, the append, and each of them all can really get in depth in how we're going to implement it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be fun and we're going to learn a lot. So if you found this video useful, drop a like. If you have any question, drop a comment, and you can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more contents like this. Thank you.